I never thought I'd become the main character in one of those HOA horror stories you hear online. I'm not a troublemaker. I work remotely as a residential designer, keep my yard clean, pay my dues on time, and generally mind my own business. For years, my neighborhood was quiet, respectful, and drama-free. That all changed the moment Linda Parker became president of our homeowners association. Officially, her name was Linda. Unofficially, everyone in Oakview Meadows called her the HOA Queen. She wasn't always like this. Before her, the HOA was run by an older engineer who treated rules as guidelines, not weapons. Meetings were short, fines were rare, and common sense usually won. When he moved away, Linda saw her opening. She campaigned aggressively, door-knocking, flyers, speeches about protecting property values and restoring order. What she really meant was control. Within weeks of her election, violation notices exploded. One neighbor was fined because their lawnmower was visible in the garage. Another got a warning for hanging a welcome wreath past the approved season. A retired couple down the street received daily fines because their trash bin sat out 15 minutes too long. I stayed invisible. I read the bylaws, all 30 pages of them. I followed every rule to the letter. And then spring arrived. In my backyard stood a tall, healthy oak tree. It had been there long before I bought the house. According to the survey, it was fully on my property, about 5 feet from the shared fence between my home and Linda's. That tree shaded my office window in the afternoon. It cooled the house, added privacy, and honestly, it made the place feel like home. One quiet Saturday morning, while reviewing blueprints at my desk, I heard a sound that didn't belong. Chainsaws. I looked out the window and froze. Standing in my backyard were 2 workers in safety gear, and Linda Parker, clipboard in hand, sunglasses on, directing them like a film director. They were cutting my tree. I ran outside, heart pounding. "What do you think you're doing?" I shouted. Linda turned slowly, completely unbothered. "Good morning," she said sweetly. "Your tree branches are extending over my yard and dripping sap onto my outdoor furniture. That's an HOA violation. You don't get to enter my property and cut my tree." I snapped. "That's trespassing." She smiled, the kind of smile that isn't friendly at all. "As HOA president, I'm authorized to correct violations directly. I sent you notice." She hadn't, and we both knew it. I told the workers to stop immediately. They hesitated, clearly uncomfortable. Linda waved them on. That's when I pulled out my phone. "If another branch gets cut, I'm calling the police." Silence. The chainsaws shut off. Linda's face turned red, not embarrassed, but furious. "Fine," she snapped. "Expect a formal violation letter. You'll have 3 days to fix this mess." They left, taking several large limbs with them. That afternoon, a notice appeared in my mailbox demanding I remove my unsafe and unsightly tree within 7 days or face daily fines. The tree was perfectly healthy, so I fought back, carefully. I hired a certified arborist who confirmed the tree was in excellent condition and noted that the uneven trimming had actually made it less stable. Then I reread the HOA bylaws. That's when I found it. Any board member with personal involvement in a dispute must recuse themselves from enforcement. I wrote a formal letter to the HOA board, excluding Linda, attaching photos, the arborist report, and the relevant bylaw sections. The response surprised me. Several board members apologized privately. Apparently, Linda had been acting alone in many situations. They assured me the violation was void. I thought it was over. I was wrong. 3 days later, I returned home from a job site to see a truck parked in front of my house. Parker's Budget Tree Service. My stomach dropped. Workers were actively cutting down my oak tree. And there stood Linda, this time in expensive workout clothes, watching with satisfaction. Her white luxury coupe was parked directly across the street. I ran toward them, yelling to stop. Linda waved a paper in the air. "Emergency HOA authorization," she said smugly. "The tree is a safety hazard." I grabbed the document. It was fake. Wrong signatures. Wrong format. Only her name at the bottom. "This is forged," I said. "Tell them to stop or I'm calling the police." "They are almost finished," she shrugged. The workers hesitated. I warned them they could be held liable. One shut off his chainsaw. That's not what you told us, he said. You said the homeowner approved. Linda lost it. I am the authority. At that moment, my phone rang. It was another board member, already on the way. The workers backed off, but the damage was done. The trunk was mostly cut. Then we heard it, a deep, cracking groan. The tree began to lean. Everyone stepped back, except Linda. She was too busy yelling to notice. The oak gave way, and as if the universe itself was passing judgment, it fell directly onto her car. The roof collapsed. Glass exploded. The frame buckled under the weight. Total silence. Then Linda screamed, "My car! Look what you've done!" I didn't raise my voice. "You trespass. You forged documents. You ordered illegal removal. This is on you." Neighbors poured out of their homes. The HOA board arrived minutes later, stunned. The tree company started calling their insurance. Linda called Hayes, and judging by her reaction, they weren't impressed. Within a week, everything unraveled. The HOA paid me nearly $20,000 for the tree and restoration. Linda was removed as president. The forged authorization became official evidence. A few days later, I sat on my porch drinking iced tea when a rental SUV pulled into Linda's driveway. She stepped out, sunglasses on, avoiding eye contact. I raised my glass slightly. She flinched and disappeared inside. And just like that, peace returned to the neighborhood. Thank you for watching Classic Stories. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories that remind us how powerful compassion truly is.